So I think there are a number of factors why we're seeing not only this kind of violence, but also what I would call political violence. So part of what's being driven, that's driving this, is the reaction to many people in the country, many whites, to what is being perceived as the changing demographics, which is being interpreted to mean a loss of power. We can go back to Barack Obama, for example, and the rise of the Tea Party, which was expressively generated by the fact that you had an African American who became president. And then you have a political party that's willing to exploit those fears and those trepidations. And so, on a day to day basis, through not only the political scenarios that are coming from the Republican Party, but through the far right media that feeds all of this chum into the water. And so you put that with access to guns, and you've got a very explosive combination. And there's no relenting at this point because the Republican Party has become the Trump Party, which at its core, I would argue, is a white nationalist Christian theocratic agenda. And that going forward, it seems to be what's going to be what drives at least that party for the foreseeable future.
But the problem is at the very root of the foundation of this country. I do not know how people expected any other outcome other than what we are seeing, the carnage in the streets we are seeing against certain people, when the very foundation of this country, this settler colonial white supremacist white male patriarchal experiment that was founded on the near genocide of the indigenous people, the complete theft of their land, and then the enslavement of African people who were brought here to develop that land for the ruling class. I am not sure, and all of the violence and the carnage and the human degradation and the violation of human rights and the use of law enforcement to defend property owners and to uphold unjust laws that were always used against marginalized people. I, this country has never reconciled itself with that foundation. That is the foundation of this country. So if you don't deal with the rot at the root, what kind of fruit do you expect other than the carnage and the hatred and the violence that we are seeing in the streets against certain groups of people, certainly, but we also have to look at who's perpetrating the violence when we're talking about the racially motivated violence against Black people. I mean, young white women are not taking up arms and shooting up grocery stores full of Black people. It's not angry Black people who are taking up arms and shooting up grocery stores full of white people. It's young white men, mostly who are not in the 1%, who I think are realizing that the lie they were sold about their place in this American dream and what they are owed, and they can all own it, they're realizing they don't have a place in this society either. So they're acting out on their delusions, on being sold a dream that was never real, and they're just happening to turn their anger towards the convenient targets, Black people, marginalized people, because we've always been the convenient targets.